Okay, well, I'm back to work on this PowerChief generator here. It had an oil leak. It was leaking oil around the breather. So I took the thing off, cleaned all that up really good, and cleaned up the crankcase there good. This is the old gasket. It was torn and the little ears were missing off each end where the screws are, so that's the way the gasket goes on, so those drain holes so it can drain the oil out of the breather back into the sump through there. So anyway, why I had the carburetor off to fix the oil leak, I took the carburetor apart and it was pretty cruddy on the bottom in the float bowl. This thing started first pull, it ran beautiful, it idled nice, it really ran nice, but inside of that was pretty dirty, so I just went through it and cleaned it up and rebuilt it. It's got a new float needle and new gaskets and pretty much all totally rebuilt. Alright, got the breather installed, got the little wire correctly through that little loop thing right there. So put the carburetor on next and be ready to fire up. This is the linkage for the governor, which has to be hooked up still to the carburetor before I bolt it on, but yeah, I think this will solve the oil leak. I don't know if I showed this in the last video or not, but the air filter was smashed for this, so I did put a new air filter in it too. Alright, carburetor's on, governor works, fuel line's hooked up, all the bolts are tight, air cleaner's on, so I'll take it out and put a little gas in it and fire it up. Okay, I put a little gas in the tank, just kind of going around checking everything for, make sure there's no drips anywhere. No drips in the carburetor. Fuel is turned on to it. So I think I'm going to tripod up the camera and we'll give it a pull and see what happens. Really richened it up cleaning the carburetor. Okay, well that looks like it took care of the oil leak. Would have been running down that part of the crankcase by now. Alright, we finally got a nice day and I'm going to try and get the pressure washer going. It's been probably 9 months since I run it, and I'm going to clean the engine on that generator. Finally got the patio stuff out too. Put the whirligig out. So anyway, we'll get the pressure washer going here and clean that generator out. The first thing I got to do is purge the antifreeze out and get water through the pump, and I'll re-winterize the pump because we're still going to have freezing weather. Okay, let's see what this thing does. I cleaned up pretty good. Got 99% of the crap off. What it didn't get off, I'll just take a rag and wipe off. But we'll put some gas in it and crank it up and let it dry out and sand this out and clean this off and give it a paint job. Well, it started on the second pole. I thought I had the camera on, I didn't, but I'm just going to let it run, warm up and dry out. The other thing I'm going to do is drain the oil, put fresh oil in it. I have not changed the oil, and I guess I got to get a bigger wrench. Alright, got the wrench that fits it. Yeah, it needed the oil drained and changed. I always put little extension tubes or something on the engines to make it easier to change the oil. You just tip them up and then spray some brake clean in the threads and a little Loctite on the pipe threads and thread them in, tighten them up, and then your cap comes off without, turning the pipe out. And I always use these kind of caps, and you can just put a regular wrench on them. Alright, got it filled up with fresh oil, and we'll crank it up again and work some of that oil in it, and then call it good until I paint it up. Well, I got a coat of green on it. I think it looks okay. Took the muffler off so I could clean that up and paint it up alright. But all in all, it looks fine. There we go. Sediment bowls untaped. So I think it looks pretty good. It'll do. I mean, it does use a little oil, so I'm not going to get like hundreds and hundreds of dollars for it. Alright, it's all painted up. As soon as the paint's dry, I'll take some photos and get it on Craigslist. So, it looks pretty darn nice. The black is wet. That's why I kind of rolled it over there before I painted the top of the handle to get it out of my way. But basically this is going on Craigslist now as soon as I can get some photos. But the fuel tank has been brazed up where it was cracked. The fuel sediment bowl's brand new. The fuel hose is brand new. The carburetor's rebuilt. It's got a new air filter in it, and the oil is changed. So it's basically ready to go. So probably tomorrow I'll get this thing on Craigslist. So keep an eye on my channel. I got the giant vac blower here, and I'm going to take that engine off that's worn out and put this engine on. But one thing I did notice is this doesn't have a keyed crank. It's tapered, and this has a key slot in the crankshaft. I don't know if it shows up there or not, but anyway, it's got a key slot. So I'm suspecting that that's a regular crank. And if that's the case, this engine runs really good. It just burns lots of oil. So I think I'll just swap out the crankshaft if the journals are all the same size. I'll measure them. Pull this crank and that crank and measure them up. And if they're the same, we'll swap the cranks and get that engine on here. And, so keep an eye on my videos and you'll see a bit about that. But anyway, this is done, ready for sale, and I want to thank everyone for watching my videos, and if you enjoy my channel, please subscribe.